Wednesday. We are back with our last winning Wednesday of the month, Women's History Month. So drop in the chat how you feeling, what's been going on. Do a quick check-in with y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about what was going on with me today and over the last 2 weeks. So I'm a little out of breath because I came back. I literally ran to my room because I just did a photo shoot I had to do for an assignment. And never again. Never again. Hey see, I was just home. Let me look on YouTube to see who here. Hey Reality. They try to jump my homegirl to shut my finger in the door for 4 minutes until they finally opened the door from the inside because they couldn't find a key. They had to remove my fingernail. Oh my God, Reality, are you okay? Jada, stop. I don't really know how that feel because, well, I don't know how I feel personally, but Q, he was at school and his finger got shut in the door, and they had to take his whole fingernail off, and they stitched the nail down. You okay? You're at the hospital. Did they stitch the nail back down, or did they leave it off? All right, y'all. Make sure y'all send all the love to Reality. Hey Yo, hey Sid, hey Asada, hey Mar. Sid says she feel good. We love to see it. Hey Mar, happy winning Wednesday. Hey Gemma. Hey Antoine. Hey Kayla. Jada, the 2-mile gym run, I haven't been running consistently in a little minute, but I do still got it. Hey Jada, hey Shane. They couldn't because by the time I got here, it was already off. Oh no. Hey Eugene. What's been going on with y'all? All right, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about what's been going on with me then, until y'all comment, because I know it's gonna be a little delay. But for me, I've been doing more with my photography class, so of course I've been still taking pictures. I just did a photo shoot for our staged assignment. It's called the Perform. So basically, you gotta take everything into account, like the background, the subject in the picture, the props. So earlier, I went to the Goodwill. Y'all know I love me a Goodwill. I went to Goodwill, and I got a lot of stuff that I really didn't need, for myself, but I wasn't there for me. But I got some other stuff for the pictures. So I got my Model T, which is Charity's roommate, a shirt. I got a dress. I got some props and stuff, and it was fun doing it. It just I gotta do better with telling people what to do when it comes to taking pictures. I wouldn't say I'm bossy, but in my personal life, I can be just a little bossy. But with the directing part, I be hesitant to tell people what I think they should do. So I'm trying to get better with it. Hey, Mr. Sam. We got up checking tomorrow. But no, Jada, I really do still got it, period. What else has been going on? Oh, I cut my hair. So I'm not sure if y'all saw it in Miss Joni video when I came back, when she blew up the spot that I was back. But I cut my hair. It's not major cut, but it's a little bob or whatever. Not nothing crazy. But my curl pattern changed after the fact. So that's been what's going on with me. Let me see. Hey Dawn. My week going well. It's midweek, so we still got half of the week left. But it's going well. Hey Orlando. No, for real. It was sleep. But at first, when I first cut it, it was just a little adjustment. Because at first, everybody was like, oh my God, I love your hair. And I'm just I don't know how I feel about it. And it grew on me. But now that I got it in my natural state, I'm cool. I'm good with that. Hey Santana. All right, y'all. So y'all can keep dropping your comments. down below. But we got some guests today. We got some super good guests, and they're gonna bring the Heart Smile spirit. They're gonna bring some high energy, high vibrations on here, and we're gonna have a good time. So I'm about to let all my guests on, and if anybody else want to hop on, come on, and I can send you the link. But I'm about to let everybody on. Make sure I set it up right. Oh, not that. Not that either. All right, we good. All right, y'all. Y'all already know who we got on. Big Joni, Big Mo, Big Kendra. Stop playing. How y'all feeling today?
Good. I didn't know it was a party. I didn't know it was a party. This is great.
Super blessed. This is a team meeting for real.
Uh-oh.
Yo, so y'all know it is the last Wednesday in Women's History Month. So today we're gonna do like a Women's History Month celebration. So I kind of like, I don't know. I ain't really tell them like why they on, but we just gonna be on here. We're gonna celebrate them while they on here. But I got some questions that I wanna, ask y'all while we on here. So, and y'all know it take a lot for Big Joni to come on. So I'm pressed. Miss Mo, Miss Kendra, they always down. They be want to go. Look, Miss Kendra want to go right now. But Miss Joni,
don't do that.
not Dawn said, Miss Kendra, pop the call, please. Oh my God. Okay.
Your right. Is going like 60 down Drew Park.
Whole highway.
Not 60.
All right, how much you doing?
45. Always a say 45.
Yo, on Broadway.
On the highway?
No, on Broadway. She just turned up on Broadway.
Yep. Sure did.
All right, y'all. So my first question is, when you hear woman, what's the first thought that comes to mind? And we can go in the order of the screen. So, like, is that clockwise that way? Miss Joni, Miss Kendra, then Miss Mo.
When I hear the word woman, what first comes to mind? Strong and resilient.
When I hear woman, first thing that comes to mind is powerful.
Not gonna lie, when you said it, my first thought was Michelle Obama. I swear. I swear that was my first thought.
Okay. So based off like the images that y'all saw like in the women in your life, why did y'all say those specific words? Because like with Miss Joni's, for example, we always hear like strong Black women, that whole thing. So like what made y'all think about those terms?
Well, for me, it was because my mom just really didn't give us a choice. So imagine being in a family and in a community where it's a whole lot of alcoholism, drug abuse, drug addicts, and just not positive examples of what an adult period should be. But then you have my mother, who is somebody that's like, no, I'm not about to be a victim or claim myself as a victim. No, I'm not about to succumb to some of the things that were set up for us to fail. And I am going to make sure that I provide and take care of myself and my kids. And my mother, even though she grew up in like the 50s and 60s, she never bought into like the whole racism thing. The white man is to blame for all of her life. Like she just was never on that boat. So she never even offered that as an excuse for anything.
But hold on, where's Big Sherry now though? Because I ain't see her on the live in a minute.
No, she be on. I talk to my mother almost every morning. Like,
yeah, but why she'll be on? Miss Sherry, like, why you just be on here like? I'm a text her. I'm gonna text her at this one on Wednesday. I'm like, Miss Sherry.
I think because she be putting it on her TV.
Oh,
so yeah, so like she making a whole family affair in her house.
Okay, Miss Sherry get a page. Miss Kendra.
I said powerful because similar to Miss Joni, I grew up with a mom who she was very self-sufficient. I grew up in a 2-parent household for at least half of my childhood. And with that being said, most kids thought I was class, all the handouts that you could think of growing up. And my mother never depended on my dad to get by. Um, my mother, she also had to drop out of school. With that, she didn't know that to describe who she was. So she went to the library. She reads books even up to today. You would think that she went to college, but she did not. Um, she was very hell-bent and resilient when it came down to our education. Just because she didn't graduate didn't mean that we had that option. So we were going to graduate. We were going to make something of ourselves. And she was a very big supporter. So um, for me, it's powerful because all the women in my life made sure that they did not pass the blame down to someone else for why they failed. They take blame for like that they did wrong, as well as they find a solution on how to fix it. So that's why I use the word powerful.
Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna do a big reflection after Miss Mo answer. Miss Mo.
Okay. Well, of course, my initial thought was Michelle Obama, right? But I think because I look at Michelle Obama as a woman with like a great amount of grace. I think that a woman's ability to like get at you, tell you about yourself, or give you encouragement, or love you, or care for you, or nurture you, or whatever it is, it comes with a sense of grace. It comes with a certain amount of grace. And when I think of my own mother, right, too, because I think it's appropriate, and it's definitely well due in order to give my mother her flowers, because my mother is a woman that carries a lot of grace, a lot of kindness, a lot of nurture, a lot of everything that I just listed. My mother gives it all, but she is just very, like, she stands on her own 2 feet, knows about a lot and she knows a lot about a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much why I said it initially. I think that Michelle Obama is a good role model, just kind of like for people all over the world, and exemplifies a great woman.
Yeah. See, y'all had like the common themes throughout your answers, and it kind of made me think about like how my grandmother is. Don't get me wrong, I love Big Mel, and she do everything that y'all said too. But I really thought about my grandmother because she's like the matriarch of like the family. Like she the stronghold for everybody. And like I mean, sometimes I feel like it shouldn't be that because she getting older and stuff, and she can't always take care of everybody. But for the most part, she do her best to make sure that she can help everybody. My dad, he talks about like how she talked about how she didn't want to be dependent on the government for like living, and so she like I'm not gonna be on Section 8 food stamps no more, and like she ended up just keep working, and still to this day she worked like every day. Like she like, yeah, I'm about to go to work, and I'm like, dang grandma, when you going to work? She's like, oh yeah, I gotta get up at 4 a.m. I'm like, how you get up at 4 a.m.? I can't get up at 4 a.m. But she be at work all day. Every time I call to check up on her, she at work. And she owned her own house. She purchased her house. I think she had her house for maybe as half of her life, at least half of her life. And like she has like 20 something grandkids. She makes sure everybody is always taken care of. And like I think women are mainly like that stronghold for real. Like you shouldn't hear single anything, but most times you hear like single mom, and the mom is taking care of everything. But like when it comes to like men, don't get me wrong, they support things and they help things, but like for the most part, like women are the ones who are the nurturers and take care of things. So I had another question. Did y'all have any comments based on your answers, or did y'all want me to just move on? Okay. All right. So my next question, and I got your question too. I'm gonna ask yours after this one. how do you think women contribute to society today? So I noticed that everybody basically talked about their mom or who gave birth to them, but like, how do you think further than that women contribute to society?
I think women are the backbone of society and of any country when you think about it. And it's crazy because I was kind of having this conversation yesterday. So I was blessed to be invited to the anniversary for the Congressional Black Caucus, and they were honoring myself and also 3 other women in different parts of the country because all of us are doing like nonprofit service type work in the name of Sojourner Truth. And we were just talking about how in every significant movement there has been a woman involved, like regardless of what you look at, and just how a lot of times we are underappreciated and undervalued simply because a lot of times it's the stigma that we just supposed to stay on our place, so that we only supposed to have certain roles and that we can't be in leadership positions. So I think that we are key and critical in all functions.
I have to agree with Miss Joni. I definitely believe that we are the backbone / foundation of everything. Um, what I've noticed is there's starting to be a lot more women that are attempting to be empowered or are empowered. And for the longest time, we did not have that outward voice. I can say that from what I've seen, similar to you, Cam, my grandmother, she pulled a lot of strings, but she definitely did not show she pulled those strings. She was 100% our matriarch. Like if she said jump, we were jumping. It was one way or the other. We was definitely going to make that happen. And there are a lot of powerful women out here. So I believe that we are the foundation, and a lot of women definitely are the backbone into society.
Definitely agree with Miss Joni and Miss Kendra, but I'm also just thinking of, and I think I saw an earlier comment about it, but just like creation of life, right? I mean, obviously we can't do it by ourselves, but we carry, we birth, we grow, um, we just give life. And I think that that's like one of the greatest gifts ever, to be able to do that if that's your choice, but also just to be able to um, raise society, raise the world in a sense, right? Because we don't necessarily always raise like our biological children. We don't necessarily always raise children either. Like we might just uplift someone that we come in contact with. We might encourage someone that we've never met, and we do it, with a smile on our face or with purpose in our voice. So I think that that's definitely something to recognize and something that is important to see.
Yeah, I feel everything that y'all is saying. I just think about like how it is being back in the city. Most times when I see like nonprofit work or community work, I see women as the head of that. And like, I don't know, y'all being around y'all or like and like your little nest for real. Cause I guess we kind of like all y'all little eggs. Y'all make sure we all good. But like I always get inspired to like do more or want to do more. Like I have check-ins with Miss Mo every week. And like sometimes it be like, Miss Mo just don't feel like it. And I can hear it in her voice, but she still be like, I'm fine, I'm okay, or whatever. And she still press on, like regardless of what's going on, Miss Mo do what she gotta do. And we gonna kind of try to address this later on, but like how can we allow ourselves time to just not have to be strong or resilient or push ourselves past our limit, because all of y'all work hard. Y'all work tirelessly. Like Miss Joni be in the office basically all day. I'm surprised she at home right now. But y'all work hard and like y'all need a break. So trying to figure out how we can incorporate that in the conversation is what we're gonna swing back around to. But I'm gonna let y'all think about it. So Dawn had a question and they said, how has your experience been with being a woman in a leadership position?
Well, first I had to run home to be on time for this because the internet went down at the office. So I was thinking about mine, like, hold up, Miss Money Mo gotta be on her phone.
I cheated. I got 2 Wi-Fis on my laptop. I got 2 accounts, so I'm on another Wi-Fi.
Wow. Well, I didn't have that option. So yes, I left the office to come here. But that question for me hit a little different only because I feel like I had a very untraditional introduction into leadership, and my path was just very different than what most people have. So my first introduction was working at McDonald's, and a lot of that was me being in charge of people that were older than me. And I didn't realize it until much later on, like as an adult. But like those people were bitter and angry and upset at me, not because I wasn't competent at my job, but because they like, why am I taking orders from a 17, 18, 19-year-old person when I'm 50 plus years old and I've been here for 10 years? And at the time, I didn't even see anything wrong with that, but I guess they just had to do whatever they had to do for their families. But that was like my biggest struggle, being able to inspire and gain trust from people who were way older than me, had way more experience than me, and didn't see me as qualified. So getting through that really taught me a lot just about how to inspire trust. And then my second major leadership role was at Comcast. And again, I'm in an environment with all college educated people. The only woman in my position, the only black person in my position, and oftentimes, like the only other people that would be around our tables would be older white men. And because we were in Pennsylvania, we were based in Pennsylvania, we had a lot of Penn State grads. And that was going over top of my head, like at the time, but now understand a little bit of the culture when it comes to like university and colleges and stuff like that. Now it makes sense to me why they had a big chip on their shoulders. They like, hold up, I done went and got my master's, like I got a BA in business management, and here you are with nothing, and you're my boss. Like, so for them, that was mind blowing. But some of the people who were at the top who understood that they needed to reach outside of their traditional bucket for leadership and that they needed to be serious about diversity and giving people a chance. Like they saw that even though I was undereducated from a traditional perspective, I was very much everything that they needed for the culture.
Yeah, Miss Joni, and I think experience can be your biggest teacher. So like, I don't know, I learned many lessons from y'all, but like I kind of just see, and even with like with Elda and how she see people, y'all make me see people like everybody brings value, regardless of like the college education, where you grew up, whatever. Like everybody can bring something to the table. So like in our community, we all look different. We all got different lives, different circumstances, but like regardless, somebody can bring another piece of knowledge that I don't have, or you know, another perspective that I don't have. So I try to look at it like that. Miss Kendra?
First, I wanna kind of laugh at the two comments I came across. I'm not always driving. I'm always on the move. Like I'm gonna be at the locations I'm gonna be at. Similar to what Miss Johnny said. Um, I had to be on here. So instead of me like literally like pausing or anything, I'm just moving. One way or another, I'm gonna get it done.
Miss Kendra, the no hands though, like can we keep one hand on the wheel at least?
One
Like
hand is on the wheel.
you know, you did like this. I was like, I don't know. Like
I stopped moving. Like you might say it, but I did. I stopped moving. But anyway, it's been hard being a woman in leadership. The reason being is because I can't say I don't like telling people what to do, but I can say that I had to learn the hard way that you can't force an adult to do something, and that's the same thing for kids. So for me, it was difficult because my first time actually being in a leadership position, I was doing security, and being a female, like doing security and having to worry about like the things that you got to worry about that way, I ended up on being a supervisor on a shift with all men. And so we're talking about like 20 something, 30 something, 40 something year old men. And I'm in my early 20s. I didn't know I was going to talk to them. But I stopped trying to be something I wasn't. And I came to them and I was just real. And I realized that when you're in leadership, you just have to be real. Even if you don't, like, you want to trade up, you want to be meaner or anything. If that's not who you are, it's going to come off as not authentic. And you can't help that way. And so I find it difficult because I never want to force somebody to do something. But when you are in a leadership role, you have to be able to delegate the things that need to happen. And so I usually find myself taking guidance from someone else or other women that have been in power that do understand the struggle that I might be going through, and just listening to like the suggestions that they give me. And so I always say it's difficult, but sometimes it can be easy. Sometimes it can. Like that's the best way I can describe it.
Well, I initially, when you asked the question, I was on mute and I said, it's trash. It can be trash. Like for real, it can be trash. And I not all the time, but it's kind of like, especially right, kind of alluding to what Miss Joni was talking about like being young, right? A lot of times, if not all the time, but no, I'm gonna say most of the time, I'm the youngest person in the room, and then I always get these like backslided under comments about like my education and basically like why are you here and stuff like that, and that can be very very difficult to handle. And then I also struggle still with imposter syndrome, like why am I here, like who put me here, like why do I have these particular decisions or whatever? And then also looking at the different settings. Um, I look back at like just professional career and just like positions that I have been put in. And yes, there have been like leadership positions, but I look back and I'm still like, not me. That couldn't have been me. And then like also working like in academia, that's also like a whole different kind of like thing to carry on your shoulders. But I think what definitely like gets you through is just remembering like your purpose, right? Remembering why you're there, the bigger picture, but then also like some of these people like just don't just like given the time and the energy, like you just be tired. So I'm just not gonna give you my attention and my time and my energy. I'm not gonna let you get to me, because at the end of the day, I can't let you fuel that. I can't let you fuel that response out of me, because I need that energy for something else. So you can question my education. You can question why this young Black woman is here sitting in front of you. You can question all of these things, but come on, are we getting this done? Do you have what you said that you were going to have? Are we still going to have this meeting? You can cancel it. That's cool. I'll go to somebody else. I don't really have time for it. So, yeah, that's really it can be trash, but it's also rewarding because you learn so much, just about people, about yourself, about the professional world, about your interactions with other people. So yeah.
I think I'm gonna address one thing Ms. Mo had said. When you was talking about imposter syndrome or like you still feeling like an imposter, I seen this video that Charity had posted, and it was like a repost of somebody else stuff, and it basically was saying we are imposters. Like we're not supposed to be where we at. Like the system's not built for us to be in them, like in these positions. And like so, at the end of the day, we kind of are imposters, but like we making our own way, like out of it, and like I wouldn't say tricking the system, but making the system work for us. And so, like, a lot of what y'all do is like non-traditional. Like, one thing I think Horse Mouse is like non-conforming. Like, we don't have like this like exclusive model of like how things look. Like, even when I think about leadership, it was a certain way that I looked at it prior to Horse Mouse, but like that's totally changed by seeing like the different things that we do. Like, we might not see a position of what we want to do, but we make the position. So it just be like, I don't know. It's like I constantly get inspired, especially like with the, the female heartbeats or the other young women in Horse Smiles. Like, no disrespect to the, the male heartbeats, but we just built different. Like, you see Tay Bands on I don't know how many BU showcases. Like, it's growing every time. You see Sid doing her thing with Upcycled, all the art schools she got accepted to. You see Gemma, she just came down here, spoke to my kids at my internship. I don't know. Like, we just got a whole different thing. You got Elder. She got something cooking up for you. I'm going to just let her, do her with that. But, like, we got all these different things going on. And, like, it's not what the world expects us to do. And that's just what it's going to be. So, I just think of it like that. Did y'all have any other comments? I know somebody else had another question before I moved on, because I know Ms. Joni, she locked in. Ms. Kendra, I peeped you was on 83. You was trying to give us success sessions early.
I'm not on 83 now. That's the important part. And I'm about to stop moving. Awesome.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna move on to the next question. I think it was Miss Michelle. Not Obama though. She said, how can women leaders balance the personal and professional responsibilities? That's a good question though, because no lie, I be having to ask y'all if you're okay, like for real. Like, I got asked a couple times. Miss Joni, you would say, oh, I can help you with this. And you basically got to hound her to help her. You got to be like, Miss Joni, like, please, Miss Joni, I'll help you, Miss Joni. But that's another thing. Miss Mo, she always say, I'm fine, I'm okay. Sometimes she probably be falling apart behind her. I'm fine, I'm okay. Miss Joni taught me to, to hook up on Miss Mo. But y'all be having y'all different things. So the question again, it reads, how can women leaders balance the personal and professional responsibilities? And if it's something that y'all don't do now that y'all want to do or need some accountability on, say that too. Because I will beat down your phone.
Well, I'm getting better. I can absolutely say that I am definitely getting better. One thing that really helped me was just like really figuring out for myself what type of time and space I needed, just like to take care of me and my family and the personal obligations. So y'all know what I do for like my Fridays and Mondays. So like that definitely helps a lot from that perspective. My weekends have been scaled back a whole lot. And not only have my weekends been scaled back a lot, I put my D&D setting on. I got a personal time thing on my phone so that way when I'm within like 3 blocks of my house, it automatically comes on. Yeah. So like I am definitely doing things and getting better. But the thing that has been keeping me grounded like all these years, because I wasn't always there, the thing that has been keeping me grounded is the fact that the stress is good stress and the problems are good problems. And there are so many people who are wishing and praying that they could have the type of issues that we have and that they could even be in the position that we are in. So I always just try to keep that bigger perspective as well, because there's no way that I would be stressing myself out, running myself down to like the last bone for something that wasn't adding any value to my life or adding value and purpose to the world in general.
I like that. Yeah, I gotta agree. Miss Joni is doing a lot better. Um, but honestly, the balance comes with knowing your limits. And it's not easy. Sometimes you got to push yourself to your limits to know exactly where they are. For me, I have learned when to not take a call, which has been helping a lot. Um, when to say no, which is very difficult for me, and when I just can't. So my balance has been on the weekends and knowing that the minute I hit 5 p.m. on a Saturday, like work has to not be work. Um, and I think the most difficult thing for me with balancing is doing things within Heart Smiles is like a passion for me. So it's hard to turn it off. I'm always thinking of something to do. I'm always trying to figure out how to help you guys, how to grow Heart Smiles. Like, how can I help? And sometimes you can burn yourself out. But honestly, it's also having that support system. When I first got to Heart Smiles and I met Miss Mo, Miss Joni, Miss Cheryl, Miss Simone, I can go on with people, even Cam. I realized that Heart Smiles is a team. They're a family. And so, with that being said, nobody in Heart Smiles is going to put anything more on you than you can handle. So that balance comes from being in a place where you're not going to be taken advantage of, where they know, okay, I know Miss Joni is going to help you when you say, hey, I need your help. So let's not ask Miss Joni. I know Miss Mo is going to say, I'm fine, and she's not fine. But, I've realized that was the third fine I got out of Miss Mo, so let me not. Like, I know for a fact that nobody is going to put more on us than we need. So that balance comes naturally here, and I very much appreciate it. And I think that for me, I can say 100% I'm Heart Smiles for life, regardless of what. But yeah, that's how you find your balance. Just being around good people.
I'm gonna have to second that. It's definitely a blessing, like being in this culture and this environment, because you know that people genuinely care about you. That is not the truth in other environments that we may be in. So we know, like, if we go to a Heart Smiles mentor, if we go to a Heart Smiles partner, if we go to a Heartbeat, that genuine love and care is going to be there. As far as so that's helpful with the balance. I definitely agree with that. The difficulty comes in, I guess, in asking for that help, right? And physically, I mean, and like verbally saying that you may need help or may need assistance. I think that also part of me thinking through my balance, and I'm comfortable saying this because this is just kind of this is what it is, right? And I don't want y'all to get to this point, but the balance has to come from looking at my health. I have to make some changes in my life for my health. So um, that makes looking at the balance of professional and personal and everything else in life a little bit different, when you're looking at yourself, and looking at what you kind of have to do. So I'm gonna tell you right now, if you haven't, known already, it's important to just have balance in general in your life, because you can run yourself into the ground, and then you have to have some conversations that you don't necessarily want to have. So yeah.
I for sure loved your answers. I realized as I was asking your questions that I wasn't really answering the questions. So, I think for my answer to this question, as far as balancing professional and personal obligations, is I'm definitely a work in progress. I feel like my health, as well, like Miss Mo was saying, has definitely made me think about things different. So, like, I think I've been pretty transparent about like everything that's been going on with me, but like y'all remember last year when my nose was bleeding like every day, like I had to figure that out. And then, my hair, it was coming out. That's why I cut it. So I was just looking at try to look at those different things, like as far as my health and figuring out what I can do, knowing my limits, like Miss Kendra said. I try to take in account what Mr. Sam said to me on a check-in one time, or basically like just setting up some self-care days. So like today, normally when I got like some free time, I take a nap because I just be feeling like so tired sometimes. But today I was like, I got 2 hours to myself. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go get my feet done. I'm like, yo, my feet was looking down bad, like crusty, like terrible. Like I was like, I need to go get my feet done. So I ended up going ahead, go get my feet done. Yab funded, thank you to the Yab. And so just trying to take a little time to like, take care of myself, do a little extra because like I realize I go the extra mile for everybody else. That like, I can go the extra mile for myself. And I think I also get caught up in what Miss Kendra said too, of like, because Heart Smiles is my passion, or like youth and community is my passion. It's hard to set a cutoff on that. So like even when I leave work, it's like, oh, how can I support Aziz? How can I support Akeem? How can I support Khadijah? Like what else I'm gonna do? And so like I'm trying not to run myself ragged and just realize that when I'm at a space, like when I'm with the kids, I gotta give my all to the kids when I'm with them. But after I get off work at 7:30, like I just need to like calm down. I need to chill out. And sometimes, granted, like I do the extra stuff. Like yesterday, I went to one of my kids' track meet, and it was her championship. And like, yo, I fought so hard to like want to have like extra kids come. Like I say, I take the kids to the trip. Like I do anything I need to do in order to make sure she's supported. And like I went to track meets, like 2 of her other track meets before yesterday, but like I was like I wasn't able to do the trip. But I did end up being able to take her little brother, to the trip with me. So I called his mom. She said I could take him. And it was his first time ever seeing his sister run. So like those little small things like allowed me to feel fulfilled and like, trying to create like a balance. Like I can go the extra mile sometimes, but like doing it intentionally. So that's what I think. Okay, let me read some of these comments because I feel like y'all been commenting. I haven't really been approaching. Let me see. Dawn said, come out to the Girls Empowerment Brunch, y'all. That's step 1. Sid said, that's why I don't ask to help. I just help. Yeah, I be trying to do that too, but like you gotta see what you need to help with. Like, it's cool though. Me and Miss Joni, we getting better. Like, I'm gonna help her out. So Gemma said we love good stress. Antonio said only stress I want around me is success stress, trying to achieve it as we speak. Period. Dawn said horse smiles with my headstone. Yo, I feel like 2 weeks ago I was saying something about getting horse smiles tatted. Mr. Sam said Miss Kendra, aka Jim Dropper from around the way. Antonio said he taking notes. That's the first time I seen Antonio really comment like another comment that's not like this the best session ever. Like a real comment. Like Dawn said all areas of health matter. And that's true because it's like your mental health, that got to do with the physical health. And like everything just comes full circle. Miss Mo said she need to go get her nails done. Miss Mo, handle that.
I'll go soon. Leave me alone.
When it's weird though, because we be like, we gonna do it soon, and we be like, oh, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and then we push it another day. Like,
all right, I might go tomorrow. I might go not today because they be closing at 8:00. But I might go tomorrow.
Okay, I'm gonna check it. Matter of fact, next week when I'll check in, I'm gonna ask you if you got your nails done. So
okay.
Jada said you can't pour from an empty cup, but it's still detrimental to pour from a cracked cup. All right, explain that a little bit. Okay, Mr. Sam got a question. So, Mr. Sam said, how can us as young men or men support women as allies? Y'all don't gotta speak at one time.
I thought we had an order. I thought we was going in order.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Miss Joni like locked in, like she like.
No, look, I was trying to get somebody else a chance. The immediate thing that comes to my mind is speaking up for us even when we aren't in the room. Because like a lot of times it's about having that advocate and having that person that's going to speak up in those spaces that you might not be invited to, that you might not necessarily know about, and like just in general, because everybody is going to, I guess, rally around in your face and everybody's going to try to show support in your face, but sometimes behind closed doors like we get shut out, and again, not because we aren't competent or good at what we do, but just sometimes this undermining of women just comes in and people think like, oh, a man might be better for that job or a man might be best suited. So just doing your best to be advocates, support the women who are in your life, and help set the stage for women that you might not even know yet to have your support.
I gotta agree. I gotta agree. You just have to be a true ally. Um, one of the jobs that I worked at, one of the many jobs that I worked at, I had two different versions of young men support. I had the first version, which was not authentic at all. Like, I helped from point A to point B. Like, I did as much as I possibly could for this young man. And what ultimately happened was he ended up getting some promotion, um, because he was privy to, like Miss Joni said, being in a room that I was not in. So he used the information that I gave, and he took a promotion over me. And I'm a supporter, regardless of whether or not I should be or not. So I was like, I was really proud of him. Like, go, good for you. However, what ended up happening was I still had to train him. So imagine being in a position where you know someone is not qualified experience wise, but they're in that position. Um, and then I had a young man that fully supported me, and he was 100% in the room. Like, yes, when it comes down to help, this person has me, and who definitely can help such and such, so and so. And I just feel like sometimes you just need to be a true ally, one way or the other, just to speak up for that silent person in the room, because you're always going to have a silent person, and most of the time it does end up being women.
Yeah, most definitely. And just being genuine. Just be a genuine person. If I really don't have anything else to say other than being genuine. There's a lot of like people that just do some conniving stuff, right? So just go ahead and be a genuine person, be kind to us in particular, be respectful, because we have just as much knowledge, if not more knowledge, about whatever particular thing is happening or whatever particular environment that we're in. Just be a good person. And I'm not saying like it's all men, but there are definitely some men that have definitely just done some backhanded things because they were mad that it was a woman, a black woman, a young black woman that was in that particular space. So just kind of like swallow your pride a little bit, be respectful. Everybody can work together, um, or everybody can do things together, and I think that that would be a good start.
I definitely agree with everything y'all said. I think what men can do is exercise the privilege that y'all do have, as far as like utilizing that to like help us out. Most times men are in the more powerful roles, but women are the anchors of those men. So, like making sure that y'all are, like you said, genuine, authentic. about who really is doing the work and making sure that we're in the positions that we're supposed to be in. I would say that's my response to that question. And Ms. Jones, you can go ahead and then address the comment.
Yeah, so Jada's comment, like you're a crack cup because you're not pouring into yourself as much as you put into others. Like you keep your cup full of what everybody else need, but what about you? And this is part of the reason why I feel like a lot of people, women in particularly, don't ever get a chance to reach their full potential because you got to take care of you first. And I know that might sound a little mean, especially to people who just have that kind, giving heart. It's like, no, I got to get to them. I got to get. You're never going to be able to give your best to anybody or to anything. I'm not saying that I am an exception, but my mindset is built different. So those first couple of years where I was working myself to death, I wasn't really, because I understood what a privilege it was to be able to retire myself from such a high paying, well respected position at an organization that is respected globally. So I understood what that privilege was for that to even be an option for me. I put myself on a rigid routine because I understood how much I could handle and what I could do and what I needed to do, not because I started at flat zero. Like you got to first build yourself up or you're just never going to get anywhere. So if somebody is in a position like what Jada is describing, I would say you need to take several steps back and get you together first, or else it's going to relate to my jewel from a couple of days ago. Like all you ever going to do is be great at being average, and that ain't what we here for.
For sure. Did anybody else have any other response to Jada's comment before I moved on to the next question? Okay. So Dawn said, "What are your next steps in life?" So Ms. Jones, this might be your chance to share your house. I know you don't got it in the bag of you today, but you could probably share that. But you can talk about your other next steps though, and then we're gonna go around.
Oh my God. Like the next steps really is for us to have a city strategy where no matter what zip code you were born into or how you grow up, you have equal opportunities to create and reach your version of success with young people leading the way. And I feel like we are like right there with it. So that's the next steps for me, is seeing that through and making sure that I ensure a future for young people, even if I don't necessarily live to see that future.
I like that. Um, there are certain bits of information that I cannot divulge right now, but I my next steps is to cement a couple of the up and coming moments that are occurring for some of the heartbeats. Um, just to work on a lot of the things that we have discussed, and to, like Miss Joni, just create Heartbeat City and actually build that home that Heart Smiles definitely needs to have. That way we can have a headquarters. We can have a place for the youth to come. Like when you tell someone about Heart Smiles, you can take them somewhere and be like, "This is what I'm talking about." Um, that's my next moves. Like just to build, help, not even build, help build with the team those things that we definitely want to see happen in the near future.
Of course, my next steps are to help in everything Heart Smiles and to help in what Miss Kendra and Miss Joni just described. Hello, I have to be here too. But on a more personal note, my next steps are to be more confident, to build what I actually said I'm supposed to be building because I'm not building it, and also just to take care of Miss Mo more.
Miss Ro, I think you're definitely doing better though, because I remember Miss Joni was talking about how you didn't want to do the success session, and you did it a couple times. I mean, we had you every day for the most part. So I think that you doing that and showing up for us, that's like you expressing confidence. It might not be in a way that you are thinking about it in your head, but like I feel like you showing up every day. That shows expresses that you're confident. All right, this is my last question before we get into the jewel. If y'all got any other questions, I gave you an opportunity. I told y'all you just this is really the only time we're gonna have them all on here at one time. But my question is, what is one piece of advice you would give to young women now? And it doesn't necessarily have to be young black women, but I mean that's mostly like who we serve. So like what was one piece of advice that you would give them? Well, us. I'm all young black women right now.
I would definitely lead with know who you are so the world doesn't dictate to you who you are, especially in this day and age of social media and all this extra influence that young people particularly have on their plates. Like if you're not solid in your values, um, what you hold important, like yo, you are just going to be a mess in terms of having negative and other influences just dictate to you who you should be, and you trying to model something that is probably just not even on your heart to be. So figure that out and stand by it.
I like it. I'm gonna agree with Miss Joni. Know your worth and bring your own chair to the table. Sometimes bring your table. And what I mean by that is something that I wish I would have known years ago, and that's you're not always going to feel like you fit in where you are, but understand that you're there for a reason. And sometimes you don't fit in that seat that's there. So you have to create the seat that you can sit in. And I understand that you may have to bring your chair to be comfortable. And you may even have to bring your table because what you have, nobody else in that room will ever have. Everybody brings something unique to the table. So sometimes you bring your own table, sometimes you bring your chair to the table. But just know your worth, and sometimes and to bring your chair and table one way or the other.
Man, just bring the room. Just bring the whole room. Bring the whole room. just go on ahead and bring all the things you need. Step on these people's necks, man. Not actually. That's assault. So don't actually do that. But figuratively, step on these people's necks. And do what you need to do. And especially like when you're bringing positive love and light, positive vibes, love and light into this world, and you are bettering this world, go on ahead and do what you need to do. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't, that you won't. Um, and yeah, don't let anybody push you down. If they do push you, push them back. Not really, figuratively. That's assault. Self-defense though.
Yeah, push them for real. Push them harder. All right. So y'all, I loved having y'all on. I know we getting close to the time or whatever, but we don't like not end with jewels. So I know Miss Joni gave the morning jewel, but we gonna give another jewel, and I'm gonna give another jewel too. So Miss Joni, you're not alone. And yeah, while they're doing that, make sure that y'all send them all their flowers in the comments. Tell them like one thing that y'all grateful for from them, because I know they show up for us all the time. And yeah, just give them their flowers in the chat. Miss Joni.
Real quick, since we on the time, my jewel is you are enough. Even when you are second guessing yourself, even when the world doesn't make you feel like it, just always know that you are enough.
My jewel is your failures is always step one to your success.
My jewel is shine.
All right, and my jewel is be a sponge. Like I know that a lot of what I learned is from y'all, and like how I show up in rooms when y'all not there is because of y'all. So I would just say, just be a sponge. Like know when you're in rooms that are valuable, that are full of knowledge, full of people with more experience than you, and just take all that in. So I love y'all. Again, thank y'all for hopping on. And yeah, I see y'all during success sessions.